had a blast finally getting to play the Halo games, and having gone over the stories of the main ones, plus Reach, I wanted to pick out my favourite moments from each one. And I do not promise to be unconventional just for the sake of it. If a moment worked for a lot of people, including me, it obviously did something right. So, because even as someone who never got to play Halo before this game and had zero investment in any of this, it was still emotional to watch the character I'd been playing the entire time sacrifice herself knowing full well that there would be no rescue coming. You spend the entire game on a constant downward trend, knowing that no matter how much your team fights to prevent it, nothing is going to stop the Covenant from winning here. All you can do is try to slow them down and watch as each of your teammates dies either in service to that goal or as a consequence of it. And you are not an exception. Try as you might, struggle though you may, Noble Six eventually pulls off her helmet, makes her final stand against overwhelming force, and ultimately perishes. The Flood reveal, handily turning a sci-fi shooty action game into sci-fi horror in 5 seconds flat and inserting a dose of existential cosmic terror into the mix of an otherwise fairly standard setting. The lead up to it is fantastically done as you press deeper and deeper into the facility and find it eerily empty save for the blood and dead bodies piling up. You find rooms barricaded with dead Covenant inside as if they were frantically attempting to keep something from getting in, and whatever it was isn't here anymore. You find one surviving soldier who screams at you about monsters and fires at you repeatedly, terrified of becoming one of them. And finally, the video feed that shows Captain Keyes and Sergeant Johnson being attacked by the creatures the soldier was screaming about. All of it culminates in you finally getting attacked by them and having to fight your way out of the facility, which is now swarming with the things. It's brilliant. The Gravemind scene, showing a deeply unsettling end state of a parasite that up to this point seemed to be all instinct and muscle memory of the people it absorbed, only to be confronted with this monstrous thing, speaking poetically and scheming its way to victory. The eldritch feel of it only added to the worry of Cortana being left alone with the thing, as when you finally get to her in the third game, she's clearly had a hell of a time. I both hate it and love it immensely. The fight towards truth with the Flood at your side is incredible because it is so ass-tighteningly uneasy the entire time. You are fully aware that this thing is only helping you because it doesn't want to starve. It wants to eat you and every other living thing in the galaxy, but it doesn't do that just yet because it needs your human hand to stop the Halo rings from firing. After that, well, your lunch. No, I don't want it. But aside from crying over Best Girl, my actual favourite moment is the final terminal entry where we see the librarian deal with her husband. The contrast between the first time we saw them and the last is heartbreaking. The first moment is a wholesome embrace of understanding and compromise, only for their relationship to be strained by conflict and clashing ideologies, as Didact grows increasingly vindictive and desperate, leading to his disregard of her work and desires in service to his own with each terminal entry. The last is a moment of both cruel mercy and unshakable optimism, as the librarian hopes her husband will be better for it and not grow into the monster we ultimately end up facing. I really can't wait to see what happens in the Infinite campaign, but until I get my hands on it, there's another science fiction series I want to take a swing at, and it's one I'm far more familiar with. So until next time.